guys, it's Dee here. Hope you're all doing well. So today's video, as you can see by the title below, is going to be a dramatic green smoky eye look. It's totally out of my comfort zone, but I thought I would push myself in these makeup videos. So here is the look. If you guys want to see how it goes, then just keep watching. Bye! So to start off, I'm going to be using my Maybelline brow pomade, and this is in the shade dark brown, and this is the Tattoo Brow. I'm just going to be taking an angled brush like this, and I'm just going to fill out my brows. So I'm just taking my brush and I'm filling in the arch first because the excess product is on there at the moment, so I do want to make sure that it's as defined as possible. And then I'm making sure that if there is any excess, that it's bringing it down to the tail as well. That way both the tail and the arch are the most defined and filled out part. And just with the least amount of product that's on there at the moment, I'm just filling in the very front of the brow. So I'm just angling the brush upwards and filling in the front. And then just slightly straightening it out. And I'm just taking my spoolie and brushing that out so that the product isn't just clogged up in the brow and it's just evenly spread out. Alright, so now that the brows are filled in, I'm going to be taking my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer in the shade Caramel. And I'm just going to take a brush that's angled like this, and I'm going to clean up my brows. I'm only taking a little bit of product and I'm cleaning up the brows. So I'm just carving the front, and then if there's anything that fell underneath the actual eyebrow, I'm just going to clean that up. Tapping it in slightly so that it blends out, and then cleaning the top. And then just brushing it out just in case I move the hairs down while I was cleaning it. And then I'll just do the other brow and then I'll be right back. Alright, so now we're going to move straight onto the eyes. So I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty foundation stick. I'm just putting this all over the lid just to even it out and make sure that there's no pigmentation of any sort, so that when we do put the colours, it like pops as much as possible. And then I'm just using my finger to blend that out. Alright, so now that that is done, I'm going to be taking my Huda Beauty powder, and this is the Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder, and it's in the shade Kunafa. And I'm just going to take a blending brush like this, and I'm going to set my eyelids. So the Fenty Beauty foundation stick, it is quite matte on the eyes, but I do still want to set my eyelids just in case. Also just make sure that there's a flawless base to work with. So I'm going to be taking my gold palette. I'm going to take this orangey brown shade right here. So I'm just going to take it on my fluffy brush that we took before to set the eye. And it is quite pigmented, so do take off the excess. And then I'm just going to put that into my crease. So I'm going in windshield wiper motions and then rounding off the edge so that when we do put on our foundation or concealer, that there isn't much of a difference between the Fenty foundation stick that we put on as well as through our eyeshadow. I'm just building that up as I go to the intensity that I want. Hopefully you can see this one is the one that we blended out the color onto the crease, and then this one has nothing on it. So I'm just going to do this eye and then I'll be right back. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm going to be taking my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and I'm going to take this shade over here. I'm going to be using a dense brush like this, so it's a flat dense brush, and I'm just going to take that shade. So I'm just packing it on the outer V like this. It doesn't have to be neat, we are going to blend it out as well as pack on some glitter on top anyway, so it's going to take over this shade. I'm kind of just working with the V as well, just making sure that it sits within that area and it's a little bit more defined. And I'm just building on that colour as I go. And if you have a bit of fallout underneath, don't worry about it. We're going to be using a wipe and we're just going to clean it all up anyway, just to make that edge a lot more sharper. I'm just going to take my blending brush again, and I'm just going to blend out the edges just so that that dark shade that did go on top of it doesn't take over the red shade that we just put. Just blending out the line that's dividing the eye as well, just so that it's not that harsh. Alright guys, so I'm taking that dark green shade from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette again, and I'm going to be taking it on a less dense and more fluffy light brush, and I'm just going to smoke it out now. So I'm going to try and create a more winged out effect and bringing that shade a little bit more out. So I'm working with the V. So from the bottom, I'm going upwards into a winged eye position, and then from the top I'm bringing it downwards to connect into that winged eye position. And as I'm doing that, I'm just bringing whatever excess product I have on the brush into the actual crease as well, just to work underneath the gradient shade. And so it looks like this, so it's a little bit more winged out and a little bit more dramatic, and then I've also gone ahead and put it into the crease as well, just so that it's underneath the gradient shade and it stands out a little bit more and it's a little bit more smoky. Alright guys, so to continue the look, I'm going to take my Mixology palette and I'm going to take that green shade that is over there. I'm just placing this shade into the outer V, where we just put that shade before, and I'm making sure not to take it into the crease but just below the crease so that it all blends and ties in together. So I'm going to take my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette again. I'm just going to take this light green shimmery shade over here. So I'm just going to place this into the inner corner where there was no eyeshadow before, and this one is a little bit more shimmery as well as lighter, so it's just going to create an illusion of an ombre effect. So I'm just going to do the other eye and then I'll be right back. Alright, so it looks very, very dramatic and very dark right now, but we're going to be topping that off and we're going to be using Maybelline Eye Studio eyeliner. So I'm going to take an angled brush and I'm going to take this eyeliner and just line my upper lash line. With whatever excess there is on the brush, I'm just slightly winging it out. When I do go in with a wipe and just clean up the edge, it will be a little bit more fox-eyed and just a little bit more higher up and sharpened out. So I'm just going to do the other eye and try and balance these two liners out, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so to balance out the look, I'm going to be taking that same dark green shade from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and I'm just taking the brush and lightly dusting it on my lash line. And I'm kind of connecting it with the illusion of the wing that we created. So now I'm going to take my Maybelline Big Eyes liner and I'm just lining my waterline. Okay, that probably didn't look that appealing, but I've just gone ahead and done this eye. I'm just going to do this one and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm just going to take a wet wipe now and I'm just going to clean up the eyeshadow that fell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch out my eye like this and I'm going to carve it right underneath the liner that we just placed so that it looks a little bit more sharp. And then clean up anything that falls from there, and make sure that when you do clean it up straight ahead, that the sharp point over here is blended out, and then just clean up anything else that's underneath. Hopefully you can tell the difference, but this one over here is a little bit more higher up. So I'm just going to do this eye and then I'll be right back. I'm going to take my Maybelline Colossal Smoky Black mascara and I'm just going to coat my upper lashes with this. Then with whatever excess I have, I'm just going to put that on the bottom lashes as well. I'm going to do the other eye as well, and then I'm going to go back into this eye on the upper lashes and I'm just going to do a second coat and then I'll be right back with the finished look, you guys, so stay tuned. Alright you guys, so this is the finished look. I did go ahead and put on my foundation as well as some bronzer and some highlight. I did go ahead and pair it in with the nude gloss, and then I did add in an inner corner highlight just to make that eye pop a little bit more. But this is the finished look. If you guys did like it, please hit that like button, share this video with credit of course, comment down below or message me on my Instagram to let me know how you felt about this video, if there's anything you'd like to know about. And yeah, do subscribe if you haven't already, of course. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!